Hello everybody and welcome back to Minecraft in our survival single-player world. And today we're on a little patch of red nylium behind the greenhouse because we need a bunch of crimson fungus, I guess, technically. It's grown from a mushroom, it's grown from these, so it's not wood. But we need a bunch of it because we're going to use it to build a barn. So, I am going to spend some time chopping down some warped stems? Crimson stems. I apologize, warped is the blue. I'm going to spend some time chopping down some crimson stems, and I will see you back here once I have enough collected to get started on the barn build. So you might get a little time-lapse of me chopping mushrooms in the meantime. Well, that was productive. And by productive, I mean it produced a lot of netherwort blocks, which I do need for a build that I've got planned in the future, so that's a good thing. But the amount of... that's 2 full shulkers plus a little bit extra of netherwort blocks to get under 9 stacks of crimson stems. So the balance is a little off. Also, I need to refill this. We've made a small dent in our possible storage. Oh no. Anyways, we'll get this put away. Oh, I never re-equipped my armor after doing the intro. What am I doing? So, now that we've got our crimson stem, the rest of this can go into storage. At some point I need to get some warped stem and crimson stem for a future project, but that's later problems. For now, I need to find which chest has dark oak in it. There we go. Perfect. So, now we're going to use some dark oak and some crimson. And I feel like this is going to be a cobblestone build, so let's go grab some cobblestone. I think I've got a shulker of cobblestone right here. With the cliff face materials, even though I'm not using it on the cliff face. Yeah, right there. Weird. It's coming with us too. And the cliff face materials I put there so that when I do this whole cliff face later, it's already in place and I just need to get the tuff for that, which I'll probably be digging out between episodes from here to the next one, because I do want to finish that next. That's going to be a big part of getting this place finalized, is the main front cliff face, getting the quarry work area set up, doing a bunch of armor statues, which I've been kind of figuring out in the background between episodes, because there's a lot to learn with those. But for now, we need to clear some ground, level some space. Speaking of leveling some space, I actually need to grab some dirt. Not dirt, grass. I think I've become just a little bit too reliant on the elytra, but it's not... oh, we'll just take this loose grass. I can also grab that. It's got a bunch in it, too. Not entirely sure how much we'll need, but better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Wrong. That one. So, let's drop this. Might as well put this all in there, or at least as much of it as possible. Toss these seeds, because I don't need them. And then once we get the barn built, the next step after that is going to be getting the pathing complete. So, we're going to have the path that comes off there split and head down to the beach, where we're going to have a pier, or a dock, I'm sorry. And then we're going to also wrap it around behind the greenhouse over to here, and we're going to take the split from over here as well and kind of build a little path up the hill, which is going to lead to over here. And in this area, we're going to have our barn. We're going to have to get all of our animals transported from over there, but that should be pretty quick and easy. And then out back of the barn, we're going to have a little fenced-in pasture area where the animals can be hypothetically let out to free roam instead of being penned inside. Across the board, though, man, I am so happy with how this is coming together, and we are getting closer and closer to done with this project with every little bit we get completed here. So, I'm going to focus in. It is time to lock in and get this part of this project done. And, yeah. I'll bring you guys back in once I've got a little bit of space leveled and we're ready to start getting a barn built. Well, guys, I've got the basic frame marked in. I got the land kind of smoothed out. Coming down here, we've got a pillager patrol I didn't notice before I started recording. Just deal with them real quick. I'm tickled pink that you think that that's going to affect me in any way. Gotta love the netherite. Okay. With that little distraction out of the way, we got this thing marked out and framed, so the next step is going to be to start getting some walls in. Let's drop this and that. Bunch of seeds I don't need out of the way. I tossed in some lanterns just to get some kind of light in the space. We'll fill in with better lighting later, but that'll do us for now. And then let's start getting some crimson wood in. We're going to use our cobblestone for the base and also for our roof trim like on the other buildings. And then our primary color, our crimson, is going to fill in as our red sort of barn walls. And then the roof, I'm probably going to follow the same trend we do with all the others, where our accent color becomes the roof. Which is most of the buildings, not all of them, but like our main structure, all of the accents are done in the dark oak, the roof is done in the, I think, spruce. But for the most part, whatever I do as an accent, like on this building, I did the roof in the matching tone. So, I think that's what we're going to end up doing here as well. We'll find out for sure in a minute. Though I know that to kind of match the classical big red barn aesthetic, I'm probably going to use some pale oak for some of the accenting as well. Do kind of crimson as the main, which, see how that looks in the light real quick. Love the shaders, but sometimes, just sometimes, you gotta catch things at the right angle, which it's a little more purple than red, but it's about the closest to a proper red wood we're gonna get in vanilla Minecraft, at least. If I ever play anything modded, maybe we can build a slightly more accurate color palette for a barn, but we're gonna take it. You know, I think that once it's all done and we get all of the detailing in, it's gonna look fine. Speaking of which, we're gonna focus in on getting this thing filled in. And these large open sides, we are gonna kind of arch the top and then frame with a little bit of pale oak to give a nice, almost like molding around where the doors would be, but given that this is gonna be, you know, sliding style barn door and it's gonna just be open all the time, we're just gonna use our imaginations to pretend it's slid out of the way and it's fine. Gotta pretend a little bit for some of these builds. Beautiful. Okay. And right now we're just going to focus on the base structure. We're going to get the walls in, we're going to get the roof on, and then we'll start focusing in on getting details done once everything's roughly in place. And waste a couple rockets along the way because, you know, why wouldn't we? How does that look so far? Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. And then for the inside, we've got 6 cells once we get all of the fences in to kind of separate them. So we're going to have cows, sheep, pigs, chickens, sniffers, which is a little bit of an odd one, not really a farm animal, but I need the seeds that we can get from them, the pitcher pod and torch flower. And then horses, mules, donkeys, what have you in here. Though that's a detail that will get marked in later. We're also going to have to rip out all of this floor and replace it with something a little more appropriate. I think what we're going to do is we're going to run our path blocks like this, not just all the way up to it. We're going to kind of come around a corner here and split off to meet with the other path. But we're also going to carry it straight through, so this is all going to just be our pathing blocks out to where we kind of have a pasture out here where it's going to kind of come to a little bit of a random end, and then we'll have some tall grass and stuff back here. Oop, I missed one. Of course I did. That's all filled in. That is all filled in. Perfect. So, with that, I'm going to spend a little bit of time, get a little bit of roof structuring done. I'll probably have a time lapse of getting the roof in because it won't take terribly long. And then once we get the roof in place, I'll bring you guys back in for the detailing. As I am sure several of you noticed during that time-lapse, between the previous clip and the time-lapse, I swapped out all of our beams on the outside for pale oak. I just thought it fit the big red barn aesthetic a little better. But now we actually need some more crimson. How much of this stuff can I put away? Not much. That's okay. We're going to have crammed pockets for just a little while. I took out this beam temporarily for an easy way up. Can't really reliably fly in. I'm still figuring it out, guys. I'm not that good. But we're going to get our roof filled in. There we go. And some of these I'm absolutely certain I'll need to use a half slab at the top to kind of meet with the roof. We'll get there when we get there. And we will probably carry these beams on up, but I'm just slapping this in for now just so we can step back and get a look and see where we're at. And wasting more rockets, as always. It's something I'm very good at. A talent I've discovered. And let's do that. Oh yeah, now that's so much better. So we'll probably run these all the way up to the roof just to add a little bit of visual support. And I'll probably swap out that very corner one for another log going up. But I think we're heading in the right direction. I don't have any pail on me. Let's fix that. And then fix all of this. We're going to have a hayloft area up here. It's not going to be accessible by this ladder. This is going to go. I'm going to put some other way up here in, but makes very little difference right now. What will make a difference is some lighting. We can get in here sooner than later, because I don't want a bunch of mobs thinking they can spawn in here and call this place home. Okay, and then let's do those corners real quick. Just a temporary walkway over to here. See how this looks. Perfect. Do that. And let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. We'll probably knock in a window up there in the center, let a little bit. Fell over my words there, sorry. Let a little bit of natural light in that way. Rather than the lot of natural light coming through that big hole, which we'll patch in a second. But I'm going to knock that out on the other side, and then I'll bring you guys back in once we start knocking in some details. Alright, guys. We've got our sort of loft area laid in here with just some upper half slabs. I did spruce, so they stick out a little bit. It's a little bit dark up here, but we're going to work on that right now by knocking in an upper window here and here. Figure, bring you guys along for the journey on this one. I'm not going to put these up here. I might actually. One of these sides I think will have a permanent walkway. The other side, the front end, will actually put temporary blocks, and then we'll knock them out. But we're going to need a little bit of workspace here, so let's just get it knocked in so that we can work on our windows. I'm going to have to grab a little bit of our pale oak to do an outer window frame. Let's see. Oh, I have some pale oak on me. Perfect. So we're going to grab a couple of stairs, a couple of slabs, and a couple of shelves. What am I doing? Shelves I need stripped. Hold on. Beauty. Okay. That's right. There it is. Perfect. I don't love the return on shelves. I think that the crafting recipe is a bit out of balance, but who am I to say? Alright. Let's get a stair. Like that out the bottom. One there and one there. Ooh, you know what? I think I want these turned. Like so. Grab that. Oh, I also probably should have made a couple of trap doors while I was thinking about it. Need a couple more stairs anyway, so that's fine. That, and a couple of those. Alright, we're just gonna do a little experiment in window shaping here, see what we like. I feel like doing a couple of these, and then a couple of these. Nope. Into a couple of these again, so we kind of broaden out. And then we'll do a stair and a slab off either side. How does that look? A little narrow. What if we move the trapdoors and shelves out one, and then we make the window larger? Because I'm okay with that being a bigger window. You guys are kind of coming along on a little bit of a process here. We'll have to pick up some glass in a minute. Okay, we're going to use that and that temporarily. We'll knock them out in a second. Oop. Bad. Wrong. Okay, and then off this side. Nope. Bad. Wrong. Do that. Give ourselves a platform right here. Knock that out. Knock that out. And knock that out. How does that feel? Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. What if I go back into a one wide and then just get rid of the top slabs and the side stairs? You, and you. Keep these for just a moment. Wrong. Do that every time, somehow. Okay. That out. I think that the 3 wide just looked a little too large for what this is. It'd be nice if we had some slightly narrower blocks to use for this kind of trimming as well, though. Let's take a look at what I've done on some other buildings real quick. Because this, yeah, I did the full supported across, and then I did the fences with the half slabs all the way up. I think that the fences do give that a little bit of extra support that they need. What about over here? Here I didn't do anything underneath, I just did the over arcs, which look like they're pretty well structured to the build itself. Okay. Gives me some stuff to think about. Let's grab... I think that this is okay. I think we're going to try to put a little bit more support by way of... Hold on. That. A couple more sticks. And a couple more of those. Okay, let's try this. We're gonna take these out. We're going to grab some slabs. And then let's grab some stairs. Let's make this feel a little bit more supported by doing an upside down stair there and there. And then turning those into here and here. This, let's do that and that. Sorry guys, we're kind of working through this live, and we'll see how we feel about it once it's done. And we'll do, nope, not there. Here, we'll do 3 of those, and 3 of those, and then we're gonna do that connects, and then a shelf. Wrong. That, and that. We'll knock this back to being 3 wide. And we'll go sleep for a moment and come back and see how that looks. It's a little bit faster to get into and out of this bed while I'm building there. Which is a whole nother thing to consider. I really should probably sort that out. Yeah, I think I might need more RAM. Oh no. Okay. That does feel more structured. The question is it a little over the top? It might be. Get a couple more stairs. Because I feel like I want to turn that in to feel a little bit more supported as well. See how that looks. Okay. Let's give that a shot. Take a step back, take a quick look. Okay, that does look a little more supported. I think I'm pretty okay with that. The walls do make a good bit of difference. And then, you know what? I might leave the shelves and then do stairs at the top and bottom. Kind of round it. I think that'll help too. Swap out those trapdoors for stairs. Oh man, we need an equivalent to the stone cutter for wood. Stairs are too expensive. Stairs are too expensive, shelves are too expensive. A lot of these things should be rebalanced, but okay. How's that feel? Oh, yeah, that's so much better. Okay. I might actually remove some of these excess blocks that are... I don't know, I think they make it feel supported. Okay, let's get some glass. What color glass? What kind of glass? I don't know. Whatever I find first. White stained glass would be nice. I think I have some down here. And if I'm wrong, we'll go check the other storage room. Some diamonds. Come back for those at some point. Aha! White stained glass. I am almost out of inventory space. It's a whole nother problem to conquer. Inventory management win, Mojang. We need it. Oh. Yeah! Got it. See, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes. How's that? I know, worse from inside, right? Oh, I do like that. Okay. Yeah. If you guys think this is a little much, let me know in the comments. We can always try and do kind of the reverse curve, maybe with like a shelf in the middle, and see if we can smooth it out and make it a little smaller. I do kind of like that, though. The thing to keep in mind for these is that the windows are going to be animal pin windows, so I'd like to have them start 2 blocks up. But I'd like to have them maybe one shorter there at the center of each of these, just to let some natural light in. Probably not on the front and back faces, though, just on the side faces. For the front and back, we're going to stick with the large window like that. Alright, let's grab any blocks that I didn't know I dropped. I knew there'd be a couple. There always are. And then for these, we're going to do something a little bit simpler. I think we're going to choose on these to use panes instead. 3 windows, or 6 windows, 2 each. Yeah, that's fine. There. We're going to give them the trapdoor shutters and probably do a pale oak stair right there. Yeah, I think that's good. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. We're going to do a little bit more molding detail, but trying to keep these relatively simple. And we're going to have to make some more trapdoors here in a second. Thank you. There we go, and they're there, they're there, they're there. Okay. And how many of these can I make? 20. Okay. Should be right. 4 per window, 5 more windows, yeah. And no, we want to do top, bottom, so that we have the handles in the middle. I think that looks right. Perfect. Placed an extra there. Don't do that. Beauty. Alright. How does that look from, let's say, here? Okay, pretty good. About from the bridge, which is probably a spot we'll see it from relatively often. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I feel like that's way too busy. We're gonna come back to that real quick. If I... Okay, I think I know what we're gonna do. Got 2 more shelves. I've got... Okay. Let's go ahead and just build up to this thing rather than trying to come through the back. That, I think that's okay. Get rid of that and that. Do I want to get rid of that? No, I think that needs to stay. Well, maybe. Hold on. If I do that, and I put one of those right there, and I do that, how does this feel? Yeah, let's see that on the other side as well. See, guys, I just can't make up my mind. Usually this sort of waffling about process is done behind the scenes, so you guys don't have to see me change my mind a dozen times in a row. Do I like that better? Yeah, I do. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna go with. I'll see if I can't grab that loose missing piece. Hold on. If I fall down from there, got it. Cool. So I'll build a matching window to that on the back side, but I think with that done, let's take a step back again. I think that the most common places for us to see that, especially since the hill obscures it from there, is from this side of the bridge coming into town, or coming from the greenhouse, and I think, yeah, it achieves the look. So I'll punch in, yeah, that's a big red barn. Perfect. I'll punch in the window on the back, and then between episodes, I'll go ahead and get the animals moved over from their pens over there. Make sure we get all types of animals kind of filled in here. Other than the sniffers, which we're going to go on an adventure soon and get sniffer eggs together. But for now, I think that I am about out of time for this episode. So I'm going to sleep, get rid of the night, and finish off this barn between episodes. In the meantime, thanks so much for coming along on the adventure. If you've enjoyed this, I've got playlists on the channel for all of the Minecraft videos up to this point, if you're curious about how everything else here sort of came to be. And I will be hopefully getting this village project wrapped up soon. We're getting closer and closer by the episode, so we're going to leave it there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.